The Silent Ascent: What IQ Tests Reveal About Evolving Minds. Asterisk Part 1. The Anomaly in the Archives. Asterisk. The fluorescent hum of a 1950s testing room, stale coffee. Pencil scratches. The metronome click of a wall clock. A psychologist flips through a stack of answer sheets, each one a time capsule of rigid logic. If all bloops are ratsies and all ratsies are lazies, are all bloops definitely lazies? The examinees lean forward, their minds straining against the confines of concrete reasoning. Fast forward 70 years. That same test now unfolds in a glass-walled co-working space. The air buzzing with Bluetooth signals. The modern participant barely glances at the question before circling yes asterisk, not because they've memorized syllogisms, but because their brain instinctively maps abstract relationships like subway lines. This is the Flynn effect in action, the silent, seismic rise in average IQ scores that James Flynn first noticed while poring over military conscription data in the 1980s. The numbers whispered something extraordinary. Not a surge in raw intelligence, but a revolution in how we think. Like finding a tribe of deep-sea creatures suddenly thriving in sunlight. Humanity's cognitive muscles had adapted to new demands. But adaptation is not evolution, and every transformation carries shadows. Consider the Norwegian farmer's son who scored 90 on a 1952 IQ test, a result that would have destined him for manual labor. Administer that same test today, and he'd likely cross the 100 threshold without cracking a textbook. We taught them the game, but the game changed. The real mystery isn't the rising scores, it's what they conceal. Because in the wings of this cognitive theater, something unsettling stirs. The tests measuring our abstract reasoning have grown easier, even as our ability to navigate the physical world atrophies. The loudest minds now excel at manipulating symbols, while the quiet wisdom of hands carving wood or predicting weather from cloud patterns fades into static. And then, the plot twist no one anticipated. Just as scientists began documenting this relentless ascent, the graph started to bend. Asterisk Part 2. The three engines of change. Asterisk. We taught them the game, and they learned to play. But how? Three silent architects rebuilt the modern mind. First, education's great pivot. The 20th century didn't just add years to schooling, it rewired pedagogy itself. Rote memorization of Latin declensions gave way to Socratic seminars on asterisk 1984. Standardized tests began favoring matrices over memorized facts, rewarding those who could see patterns in chaos. A 1900 student might recite all 40 US presidents in order. A 2000 student diagrams the systemic forces that shaped their policies. Both are forms of intelligence, but only one earns points on a Raven's progressive matrices test. Then came technology's cognitive bootcamp. The average person now processes more visual symbols before breakfast than a medieval scholar did in a month. Traffic lights, app icons, emoji, each one a tiny weight lifting our mental muscles for abstraction. Like chess masters who internalize thousands of board states, we've grown fluent in the invisible languages of digital interfaces. But here's the rub: chess grandmasters are being dethroned by AI. Not because they've gotten worse, but because the game expanded beyond human-scale cognition. Our IQ tests, too, measure only the slice of intelligence that still matters to machines. The third engine runs deeper, the quiet miracle of nutrition. Iodized salt alone boosted some populations' IQ by 15 points, not by enhancing brains, but by unshackling them from goiter-induced stupor. Yet for every child whose neurons now fire unimpeded, there's a hunter-gatherer elder who could track a gazelle across 3 ecosystems by reading broken twigs and insect sounds. We traded one kind of genius for another. The paradox crystallizes in a single image: Magnus Carlsen staring at a chess engine's impossible move. His mind, the pinnacle of human strategic thought, recognizes the move's brilliance but cannot feel its logic. The machine plays a different game on the same board. Our IQ tests, too, are just boards, and outside their 64 squares, whole dimensions of intelligence go unmeasured. Asterisk Part 3, The River and Its Banks. Asterisk. The graphs don't lie. In Norway, Denmark, and Britain, the very nations where Flynn first spotted the Ascent, IQ scores have begun to plateau. Some regions even show declines. The Reverse Flynn Effect whispers a warning: perhaps we've harvested all the low-hanging cognitive fruit. Or worse, that our modern world is actively pruning certain branches of intelligence. Teenagers can manipulate abstract concepts that would have baffled their great-grandparents, yet struggle to thread a needle or read a topographic map. The loudest skills dominate. The quiet ones fade into obscurity. But rivers don't flow backward. They simply carve new channels. Human intelligence isn't a ladder to climb, but a delta constantly reshaping itself, diverting streams here, abandoning old channels there. The Flynn effect reveals not whether we're getting smarter, but how we're adapting to the world we've built. Those Norwegian farmers' descendants might not know how to tan hides or predict storms, but they can troubleshoot a crash tap or navigate bureaucratic loopholes, skills just as vital to their survival. We taught them the game. And when the game changes again, as climate shifts demand ancestral weather-reading skills, or as AI forces us to redefine creativity, the river will find new banks. The empty barrel rattles loudest, but the deepest waters move in silence. The test continues. The pencils are down. And the mind is just beginning. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.